Hi everybody, thanks for joining me for another tutorial in Melinda's Rubber Room. I'm Melinda Pierce and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm here today to show you how to make this fun layout card. This is a card that I just showed in my Zoom class today on Wednesday, and I'm going to show you now how to put it together. So my Zoom classes are from 10 a.m. to noon on Pacific time on Wednesdays. And I give you all of the instructions ahead of time as far as the measurements go. So I am just going to walk you through the process to put it together now. So this is the base cardstock. It's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And I have a piece of matte cardstock. This measures 4 inches by 5 1/4. And I have a piece of white cardstock that's going to go on the inside of my card that also measures 4 1/4 by 5. I'm sorry, 4 inches by 5 1/4. And I have 12 squares. These are 1-inch squares, and these are the matte squares that I'm using. So these are going to be mounted behind my designer series paper. So those are the 12 squares, and then I have a piece of designer series paper, and this measures 4 inches high by 3 inches across. And what I'm going to do is cut these into 1-inch strips to begin with. And if you can use a scenery design or any other designer series paper, it doesn't really matter. But if you're doing a scenery design, you want to make sure that you're keeping all of your squares in order. So I'm just going to start with one strip here and cut all of my 1-inch squares. So you should be able to get 4 squares out of each strip. And I'm going to take that and put it on the side of my workstation here to make sure that I keep them all in order. And I already got confused with how that goes together. So, and then I'm going to go ahead and do the next one. That goes on the bottom. And when we were doing our Zoom class, we noticed that if you do a design that is a scenery design, it's good to have a really full scenery to do this card, just because it just gives it more design elements. So you can see on mine, I used a lot of sky on this first one and not much design down here. So I'm hoping that this one will, the design will be a little bit more pronounced than on my original. Okay, so there are those designer series paper. And now all I'm going to do is glue these onto my squares. And I'm going to do them so that it is offset the square on the upper left-hand corner. And I'm just going to make sure that I'm gluing these all down on the same, in the same design, with the upper left-hand corner being the matte. So I'm going to glue all those down into place, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, so now that I have all of those pieces cut out and glued together, I'm going to go ahead and glue them onto my matte piece. And the first thing I want to do is put them down in order, just as a test fit, so I get an idea as to the border that goes around each one. Like that. And then I'm just going to go ahead and start gluing those pieces into place, and I will be right back with you. Okay, so there are all my little squares glued into place. And then I'm just going to run it through the embossing folder run it through an embossing folder. This one I used the Eyelet embossing folder. I don't know if you can see that design on there, but it really makes a difference if you run it through the embossing folder. So I will do that and I will be right back. Okay, so there is my embossed piece. I'm going to just go ahead and adhere it to my card base. On mine, I used a different color card base as my mat. On this one, on the sample, I used the same color mat as the card itself. You can do it either way. All right, so then all I need to do is add a greeting to it like I did on this one. I just stamped and cut out those dies. The dies are from the Unbounded Love die set, and then on the inside I stamped a greeting and I put a strip of Designer Series paper down on the bottom as well. All right, I hope you enjoyed that quick tutorial. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments and I will be happy to answer them for you. You can also message me on my Facebook page at Melinda's Rubber Room and I will answer any questions you might have. All right, hope you enjoyed the tutorial and we will see you soon. Bye-bye.